Alright, what's going on, guys? Fishing session number 2 of the day here. Hopefully this one goes better than the last one, and really those standards are set pretty low here. My mouth is all dry. I gotta drink a lot more water than I am. But we're gonna be fishing these tide pools here. Quick look around. There's an okay amount of fish in them. I think they're all the same type of goby though. So we'll see if we can catch that one, then we'll see if we can find some other species. The tide is still going out, so I'm hopeful as more water leaves and more tide pools become exposed, maybe the number of different species that I can see will also increase. But for now, let's give it a shot and let's see what happens. Alright, it is very windy here, just like in the last spot. I think even more windy because we're more exposed. But yeah, there's a good amount of these gobies in here, and I think they should be easy to catch. I'm just not sure about that. Oh, he bit, and he dropped off, and he's back in the water. Okay, but they seem like they're very interested and very active. Got him. Let's take a look at him. Alrighty, so as expected, very aggressive, very easy to catch. Hopefully we can find some larger ones, because I think my worst nightmare right now would be that there's like 4 or 5 different species that look just like this, and I won't be able to know which one it is, because it looks kind of rather generic looking. It does have this cool kind of striping pattern on him though. Alright, yeah, let's get this guy back. Seems like these guys are pretty common here. Let's see if we can find a bigger one. Got him. This one's a little bit bigger. Alright, so this guy is a little bit bigger, but not by much. Hopefully they're big enough to ID. I only saw one of them that was like, you know, like a good size that I would really like to catch. Well, that guy disappeared under a rock pretty quickly. But yeah, it looks like there's a ton of these guys. Really haven't seen anything else in here besides these guys. But we'll keep exploring. I don't really mind catching these guys. Let's keep looking for a bigger one, and hopefully we get lucky and find something else as well. This guy's tiny. How did I ever hook this thing? Alright, looks to be the same species. No clue how I hooked this guy. I dropped my bait in front of a way bigger one. That one didn't want to bite, but this tiny little one did. Got him. Another tiny one though. Alright, so another one of the same ones. These guys are a weird mix of very aggressive and very skittish. Some of them are super aggressive, and then some of them just take off under a rock as soon as the bait hits the water. So let's keep trying. Let's try to find something else. Or let's try to catch a bigger one, because I found some bigger ones, but those seem to be a little bit more skittish than the rest of them. Oh, he bit, and we got him. Not a huge one, but one that we are going to put in the photo tank. Alright, so I don't know if this is the biggest one of the day, but it's one of the bigger ones. Now, I've still seen a couple of them bigger than this, but the bigger they are, the more skittish they are. Certainly some sort of goby. I think I also saw two really small blandies in here, but not that much variety in this tide pool. A lot of life. There's a lot of life in here. A lot of hermit crabs, a lot of these other little thingies, tons of these little gobies, but not a lot of diversity. But yeah, let's get a pic of this guy. Let's get him back. Let's keep fishing. Oh, there's a bigger one. Got him. This is not one of those blandies, but it's something different. I think maybe just a giant version of it. But let's take a look at this guy. Alright, so I suppose this could just be a giant version of all those little gobies we've been catching, because it does have a little bit of the striping pattern on it. It's got a black dot here on the tail. So I'm not sure, but I think that's what it is. I had no idea they get this big, but I mean, it's got the same kind of pattern. Who knows? Let's get him back, and let's hope we can figure out what this guy is later on. Got him, little guy. Alright, it's a tiny one, but we'll get this guy in the photo tank just because I think this will probably be our last one. There's really not much going on in these tide pools aside from these guys, and I'm exhausted. I was out here all day between the last video and this video, and I still got a fairly long commute back to where I'm staying in Osaka, so let's get this guy back. And let's go ahead and let's wrap it on up. Alright guys, so that's going to do it, and I can't really say I'm too upset. Now, pending ID, we got one new species for sure, maybe two, but I do really think that big one was just a really big version of all the little ones we caught earlier. It had more or less the same sort of pattern, but we'll double check later. And I can't really be too upset. The fishing in Osaka as a whole the last several sessions has not been all that great, so I didn't know what to expect here, and we caught a lot of fish. It's just they were all the same species. I probably could have caught a bunch more of these guys. I was just kind of trying to stay away from them, and the weather was definitely not helping. It is very windy, and when you're doing this kind of fishing, you really got to sight fish. You got to be able to see the fish, you got to be able to drop your bait right in front of them, and you got to be able to hold it there. When it's this windy, you can't see the fish because the surface of the water is all rippled, and it's hard to keep your bait in location because the wind's pushing your bait all over the place. Your bait's so small, your sinker's so small, it's hard to keep everything in one location in this kind of weather. So yeah, the weather definitely wasn't helping. The diversity of fishes in these tide pools was not all that great, but I'd still say it's a pretty good session because we got one new one for the life list, pending ID. And now the journey back to the hotel starts. So hope you guys liked it, and I will see you guys next time.